We have created a series of videos to discuss Texas' long range plan for technology and how you can create a custom plan for your district. First, let's talk about who these videos are for and how to use them. Who is this for? This is designed to guide every district to create their own long range plan for technology. This can also be used to guide individual campuses and classroom teachers. Let's talk about what you will need to best utilize these videos. First, your team. Who in your district is a vital part of the technology conversation? How can you involve the necessary parties and decision makers? Second, bring your creativity. We all face new and evolving challenges daily as we do our best to serve our students. Our technological resources are important and exciting tools that create opportunities for us to think outside the box as we work together to plan for technology and education. Third, download the workbook associated with this module. We will be reflecting on what you're already doing, what you want to begin, and what your goals are. We will be talking about big ideas in these interactive videos. The workbook is a vital part of the process. See the link below to download your workbook now. What are some of the things you'll see in these videos? As we go, you'll see an orange box like this pop up periodically. These definitions will help expand on what we are discussing. You will also see this white folder. This is to remind you to check out the resources that help expand the topic being discussed. These videos are meant to be interactive. We will provide opportunities to pause the video throughout to reflect or make notes in your workbook. So go ahead, pause this video now to gather your supplies and print the workbook. Download using the link on your screen. What is the LRPT and how is it structured? The Long Range Plan for Technology, the LRPT, is an outline of strategic goals for technology in Texas and is intended to be used as a visionary guide to inform and influence educators as you make personalized decisions for your learners. The LRPT is structured into 6 strategic goals. Each strategic goal has 3 focus areas defined within it to help guide strategy creation. Each focus area is further broken down to include the biggest challenge, suggested actions, and short and long-term outcomes. The larger LRPT structure informs how to use these videos and how their resources are structured. There is one video for each of the 18 focus areas. This will allow you to watch the videos in order of what's most pertinent for your district. Each video will introduce the strategic goal and one focus area within it, digging into the challenge, each suggested action, and the short and long-term outcomes. Now, let's look at the LRPT structure as a whole. Remember, the LRPT is first broken down into 6 strategic goals, incorporating statewide trends in technology. Goal number 1, personalized, flexible, empowered learning. Goal number 2, equitable access. Goal number 3, digital citizenship. Goal number 4, safety and security. Goal number 5, collaborative leadership. Goal number 6, reliable infrastructure. As you think about how these goals relate to your district, remember that every school district is unique, so every conversation will be unique. While many share a great deal of challenges, like budget, competing priorities, and security threats, each technology plan should be tailored to individual needs, opportunities, and constraints you have. It's because of this uniqueness that the larger goals are further broken down into 18 individual focus areas. Each focus area reviews challenges, suggested actions, and short-term and long-term outcomes. We will be expanding on this framework during this video, guiding you to build a plan that serves you best. Because it's most likely that you will go through these videos and topics as needed instead of the order of the document, we have built a reference guide to help you easily find where you are in the document, what's next, and what focus area you are in. LRPT will be the first part of the reference description. Next, you will see the strategic goal listed as G, followed by the goal number 1 through 6. Then the focus area will be highlighted as F, followed by the focus number within the strategic goal, 1 through 3. Lastly, the current section of the focus area will be listed. This could be either the challenge, indicated with a C, one of the actions, indicated with an A and the number, or the short-term or long-term outcome, indicated with either STO for short-term outcome or LTO for long-term outcome. Look for the reference diagram and reference notation in the corner of the slides throughout the video. The last of the 6 strategic goals for Texas Long-Range Plan for Technology is reliable infrastructure. Broadly, building a reliable infrastructure is modernizing legacy hardware and software, replacing aging systems to move toward a more collaborative, agile, and interoperable education system. This includes facilitating the transition from traditional practices to innovative solutions, consistently evaluating current and ongoing investments in legacy systems and hardware, and considering both shortening replacement cycles and the replacement with more efficient and scalable options. Remember to pause this video to print your workbook if you haven't already. Now that we have introduced the strategic goal, let's review the focus areas. There are 3 focus areas to help guide the realization of this goal. Focus area number 1, technology support. Focus area number 2, legacy modernization. Focus area number 3, continuity of operations. Let's zoom in to each focus area, starting with number 1. This focus is technology support. For the purpose of this video, what are we referring to when we discuss technology support? Technology support refers to assistance and services for technology users in curriculum, communication, delivery methods, and learning environments. Technology can be one of an LEA's greatest assets and biggest challenge. To truly benefit from technology, LEAs need a well-organized and well-supported technology support structure, a structure to keep technology current and functioning. Use the resources below to learn more about technology support in education. Each district will achieve these goals in a different manner as you make decisions aligned with your unique needs. That's why each focus area is broken down into the main challenge, action steps to be taken, and short and long-term outcomes to watch for. First, let's talk about the challenge of technology support in education. Remember to download the workbook as a tool to collect your notes and reflections. Underestimating your district's tech support needs inevitably leads to loss of education time. Outside of repair when something is broken, devices require constant updates and maintenance. Is this something you're planning for in your tech support needs? It is important to keep in mind that software can become a serious risk if left unmaintained or not updated regularly, working directly against your district's cybersecurity measures. Use the resources below to better understand how to address this challenge. Pause the video here and use your workbook to reflect on how often tech support needs are underestimated and what the toll is on learning time. We know the challenge. Now let's think about our first action. Action number 1 is to develop tech support teams to address issues that arise in a timely manner. These teams should be prepared to support the network, laptops, and devices in the district. As you build upon these teams, it's good to keep in mind to target a goal of 1 to 350 of tech support staff to devices. Pause the video here and use your workbook to reflect on what your tech support teams currently look like, what needs they currently serve, and what your ratio of support to devices is. It's also suggested to implement a help desk to standardize intake, track workload, and automate functions where appropriate. What does the help desk in your district look like? Does it support these functions? Use the resources below for more information on how to develop support teams. Pause the video here and use your workbook to outline how the help desk in your district functions. Let's move on to action number 2. Action number 2 is to evaluate device as a service programs being offered by manufacturers and third-party distributors for appropriateness in your district. In general, this service is the bundling and offering of equipment like PCs, smartphones, and mobile devices in a paid subscription. This is an alternative to purchasing devices individually. Some benefits of device as a service models could be scaling devices as needed, reduced workload because device configuration is no longer required, automatic device management such as patches and updates, option of trading for Some benefits of device as a service models could be scaling devices as needed, reduced workload because device configuration is no longer required, automatic device management such as patches and updates, options of trading up for newer devices at the end of the contract period. As you evaluate the appropriateness of these services for your district, think through how they are meeting your current needs, remaining cost-effective, and aligning with your goals. Evaluating this service will be an ongoing process as needs and resources change. Use the resources below to better understand using and evaluating device as a service programs. Pause the video here and use your workbook to write how you are currently evaluating these services in your district. Now let's move on to action number 3. Action number 3 for the focus of technology support is to redesign the learning spaces. How is your district designing learning spaces to keep power and connectivity readily available? If your school is currently one-to-one, or if you allow students to bring their own devices for learning, then power outlets should be easily accessible for students to charge their devices. Ideally, students should be able to learn and recharge from anywhere in the room. Reliable network and internet access is critical for students and teachers. A dropped connection or delays can disrupt learning. In planning for sufficient connectivity, consider both coverage, where students can get a network signal, and capacity, how much bandwidth is available to them. Remember that, like with everything we do with learners, access and simplicity are also key factors in establishing successful learning spaces. Thinking about the learning spaces in your district and these 4 variables, what needs to be changed or updated to make these spaces more effective? Use the resources below for more information on redesigning learning spaces for technology use. Pause the video here and use your workbook to reflect how your district had designed learning spaces to successfully accommodate technology and what needs to be changed or updated to be more effective. Next for this focus area is action number 4. Action number 4 is to invest in professional development for technology support staff. It's important to provide dynamic professional development for tech support staff that enables them to stay current with their expertise, understand trends, and effectively prepare and evaluate for risks. Pause the video here and use your workbook to reflect on how you are currently investing in professional development for tech support staff. What is the budgeted number? What resources are you using? How much time do you require for annual training? Because technology is ever evolving, professional development for tech professionals should be as well. Using a mixture of online and traditional training methods is recommended to ensure the curriculum being taught is the most current and relevant to technology needs in your district. The suggestion is to target a minimum of 80 hours annually per staff member for technical training to keep their skills as dynamic as the services they offer. Use the resources below to find more professional development ideas for tech staff. Pause the video here and use your workbook to note what resources you are currently using for training and how close you are to the suggested 80-hour mark. Lastly, let's discuss action number 5. Action number 5 is to address staff salaries for technology personnel. How is your district adjusting technology staff salaries to be competitive with industry standards? It's vital to stay up to date with the industry standards and budget accordingly in order to hire and retain qualified staff to support your district. Use the resources below for more information on how to address salaries for your technology personnel. Pause the video here and use your workbook to note how you are addressing technology staff salaries on an ongoing basis. Now that we understand the challenge and have some actionable ideas, let's look at outcomes. The short-term outcome of focusing on technology support is better student and teacher interaction and experience with technology, with more time focused on learning. What would be the indicators of better student and teacher interaction and experience with technology look like for your district? In addition to less learning time lost, how would you measure this outcome? What would it look like in the classroom? Pause the video here and use your workbook to write down what you would look for of proof of this outcome taking place consistently. Lastly, let's review the long-term outcome. The long-term outcome of this goal is a qualified, competent workforce to manage the technical complexities for increased organizational effectiveness. What are the markers of a qualified, competent technical workforce? What would you look for in this team to describe them this way? What does retention look like to get to this point? Pause the video here and use your workbook to write how you would identify this outcome in your technical support team. We've covered everything for the first focus area in strategic goal number 6. Now what? Use your workbook as a starting point for a larger conversation around this goal. What obstacles and successes did you highlight during your reflection? Who else should be included in this conversation? Start with action number 1 and work with your team through all 5 action steps. Continue to reflect on what you are doing and what you have done to make this a sustainable and customized plan for your district. The ideas you're writing in your workbook will be the material you use to build your district's LRPT. How will you use this reflection process to inform your plan? What would be your summary statement for focus area number 1 based on your work so far? Pause the video here to write down your summary statement in your workbook. Thank you for working to transform Texas education through technology in your district.